In today's video, I'll go over the most important takeaways from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. Atomic Habits is one of my favorite books on building good habits and breaking bad ones, so be sure to watch until the end of this video to get all of the goodness that this book has to offer. Hey everybody, James here. I'm a founder of Cortex Education, and I specialize in using personal development to help my students achieve college admissions success. Let's start with our first big takeaway, that tiny changes make a big difference. We usually think that big, dramatic transformations, usually overnight, are what lead to change, but in life, the accumulation of small changes is actually much more powerful. If you get just 1% better each day at doing something, you'll be twice as good in just a couple of months. We're often told that we need to set goals to dream big. Well, goals are fine for setting a direction, but habits and systems are what get you there. There are a couple of problems with obsessing too much over goals. First of all, obsessing over goals doesn't get you any closer to those goals. For example, calculating your grades over and over doesn't make them any higher. And second, obsessing over goals can actually limit your long-term progress. Many students stop making progress when they reach their goals, or when the goals start to feel impossible. I run into this problem with students who really want to get into a top college, but start to feel like it's out of reach. And ironically, they stop trying altogether and end up performing worse. So let's stop obsessing over goals. Once you set your goals, let's move on to building the habits that'll get you there. In Atomic Habits, James Clear says that any habit can be broken down into a 4-step loop: cue, craving, response, and reward. We'll go through each of these in this video. Let's talk about cues. Every habit is triggered by a cue in your environment. If you're trying to eat healthier, would you leave a bag of chips, sodas, and brownies at your dining table? Probably not. So if you're trying to focus on your math homework, why would you have your phone and laptop nearby? Disciplined people don't have more self-control than others. Disciplined people are simply experts in creating environments that reduce the need for self-control. For example, leave your phone outside your room, clear your desk of time-wasting objects, and uninstall time-wasting apps from your phone, or move them to hidden pages on your phone's screen. A great strategy to take advantage of the fact that all habits are triggered by cues is called habit stacking, which is when you tie a new habit to an existing daily event. For example, after I read the news in the morning, I will immediately write out my to-do list for the day. So, what's the big idea here? Make the cues of your good habits obvious, or choose obvious cues. And for bad habits, make the cues as hidden as possible. In my own experience, these strategies work like magic. Now let's talk about the concept of craving. The more appealing a habit is, the more likely you'll actually follow through. It's easier to build a habit if you get to do one of your favorite activities at the same time. So pair an action that you need to do, like walking on a treadmill, with an action you want to do, like checking Facebook, and you'll end up associating good feelings with the thing that you need to do. And here's one more tactic. Instead of talking about what you have to do, get used to saying that you get to do these things, and both can be true. For example, you have to do homework to learn, but you also get to do homework and go to school. Millions of people around the world don't have access to the education that you have. Would you really want to switch places with them? By getting into the habit of seeing the good in something that you need to do, you'll be more likely to do it. Now let's talk about the power of making it easy to take the desired action. Set up your environment to make it as easy as possible to do the action you want to make a good habit out of. If you want to read every day after school, leave a book right where you put down your backpack after getting home. And the opposite also works to decrease bad habits, so make it harder to do those time-wasting actions. Like never save your Netflix password in your browser, or set up screen time controls on your phone and install a browser website blocker. The 2-minute rule is an incredibly powerful tactic for using this principle of reducing friction to build a new good habit. If you're having trouble starting a new good habit, start by practicing a mini version of that habit that takes 2 minutes or less. So for example, if you want to get into the habit of reading every day, just require yourself to read 1 page every day, or clean up 1 item in your room every day. It's often more effective to just establish a smaller, easier version of the habit first before you gradually expand it to become the full version of that habit. And finally, let's talk about making the habit satisfying. When building a good habit or eliminating a bad one, try to associate the habit with immediate rewards or punishments. For example, you can use a habit tracker to track your AP studying and post that habit tracker publicly in your home where others can see it. If you miss a day, you'll immediately feel the pain associated with everyone in your family knowing that you missed it. And if you do study for your AP exams on a given day, you'll feel great when others see it on the habit tracker. And finally, we all fall off track sometimes, and the rule is never miss twice. Missing once is an accident, but missing twice is the beginning of a new habit. And too often we fall into this all or nothing mentality, but we have to move on from mistakes. For example, a short study session is far better than no study session. So if you do miss a study session, get back on the horse right away the next day, even if that means doing a shorter session. I hope you liked this video and learned something new, and if so, please hit that like button down below, since that's the only way the YouTube algorithm knows that it should share this video with more people who might benefit from it. Again, my name is James, and I'm one of the founders of Cortex Education. I specialize in using personal development to help my students achieve college admissions success. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.